What's up, everybody? Welcome to Third and Longhorn post-game show. It's the show. This happened last year. It's the show we don't want to do. It's the end of the season show, sadly.
You sound like you lost your dog.
I lost my voice for sure. We're recapping Texas's 28-14 loss to Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinal in Cotton Bowl. Let's get right into it. Hills, give us your quick thoughts on the game.
I don't think the score is indicative of what the game was, for starters. Congrats to Ohio State. Let's start there.
Yeah.
That was a dogfight.
Yeah. They deserve all the credit.
That was a dogfight. Yeah. It was fun to watch. Frustrating at times as a fan, obviously. Certain stuff that you wish you could take back, But when you look at this game, it was pretty even throughout. Ohio State came out fast. They punched early. They were aggressive. They were the aggressor early. Mm-hmm. Texas sank in, and the defense stepped up in a way that we knew they would. They give up one right before half that is a gut-wrenching, right? But they showed up after halftime, and as a team, and especially on defense, they just played lights out. Like that third quarter they erased it all. Yeah. Any mistake, any time we came off the field on third down, nothing mattered because our defense Bender with the pick. Very next drive, we go 3 and out, punt it back to them. Very next drive, it's 2nd and 1, it's 3rd and 1. They give it to Quinshawn. Bender comes downhill. Boom, that one's over too. Like he erased 2 drives back to back. Yep. Right. This was a physical game. This was probably one of the most exciting games that I've gotten a chance to watch this season. I think I said it before, and I said post-game, this is probably the closest thing you'll get to an NFL game, right? It had like NFL playoff atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
And the toughest part is we did enough to win, but we did the things to lose. You get down on the 1 yard line. You want to see your offense punch that thing in there. You don't want to see the ball go 90 plus the other way to kind of end the game, right? Mm-hmm. So you hate to end on that note, but kudos to Ohio State. Sawyer ain't nothing to play with. He called game. Like what they say in games like this, it's not play. It's what they say. It's not play calls. It's players. Mm-hmm. And he beat our tackle. He came around. Knocked out his old roommate, picked up the ball, went the other way with it, said, let's put it in.
Game over.
Right? So it's tough because it happened to us. Mm-hmm. Man, I really wish we could have got a chance to see what that game looks like, 21-21, Ohio State's ball with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
What does that look like, right? But no takebacks in this game, man.
Yeah. Adrian, what are your thoughts, man?
I think Hills pretty much hit it on the head. They came out early and they really punched us those first 2 drives. And I was wondering how we were going to come back from that, because if they go up early 14-0, it might get ugly. It might look like the Oregon game. It might look like the Tennessee game. But our defense settled down, and we play that bend but don't break mentality. But I feel like we got more aggressive as the game went on. We were closer to the receivers, closer to the tight ends, running back as the game went on, and we made it uncomfortable for Will Howard. Besides the last few plays of the scoring drive that they got in, I think this defense had enough to win a natty. I think the defense had enough to win a natty. I feel like there was times that offense really had to answer the bell. The defense came off the field, and offense, it was your turn to answer. And they did that a couple times. And, there was that play on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's one that you wish you could have back. And when you're in those games, it's different. Nobody knows what Sark is thinking. Nobody knows what they scripted in practice when they got to that line. We knew that we possibly had the 2 top defenses in the red zone. Like neither one are letting the other run the ball in the end zone. Right. They won theirs when they were on the 1 yard line. Juckins ran it in, got the touchdown. They got theirs. It was our turn to convert as well, and we didn't do that. And I think that was the difference of the game, because
absolutely.
Because if you watch our previous games, when we stopped those teams on the goal line, more times than not, we won the game just because of the momentum that you get from that. I think Quinn played solid.
Yeah.
People are, they love to tear Quinn down, but he played solid. Yeah. He was a little antsy there in the beginning, and I feel like that was more because of the history of that. Like, that was his old class. His boy is on the other side of
his roommate.
Man, right. it's a lot of emotions going on, and people don't really understand that. So he had to settle down, and I think he did a good job settling down. I think the biggest thing for us to take that next step is really getting our run game ironed out. We have to find a way to get that ironed out.
That said, I mean, the numbers won't reflect it, but you look in the second half particularly, we converted big with the running game.
Yeah.
Right? We had a almost 5-minute touchdown drive there in the third to tie the game up. And those convert, I mean, a lot of that was two things, right? Impromptu, just heads-up plays by Quinn.
Yeah. That
I love seeing.
Yep.
Right? One thing I've been critical of him of is, like, you know what? Sometimes it feels like he's trying to find a soft place to land.
Yeah.
And I seen a little bit of that in the first half, in the first quarter specifically. But then, like you said, he settled in and started playing ball. And that's where you see the 3rd and 10 scramble.
Yep.
Where he's running and just being aware. He in the middle of scrambling, look, you got 2 All-Americans barreling down on you.
You know you're
right?
finna get.
You know you're about to take a hit. And like, all right, I know y'all are right there, but where do I need to get to for this first down? Okay, that's the marker, bet. Right? Yep. And then another one where right before his knee hit the ground, he pitches it out to Wisner, right? And then just the plays that he was making as, all right, they're taking away the ball down the field. Cool. I don't have much time. I know where my back is.
Make the smart.
And just the correction. I mean, again, I called it out last week, right? The pick that we threw deep to Isaiah Bond that potentially could have been a targeting call against Arizona State. Said, hey, it's 2nd and 4. You're up with the ball, and you got a back right here. See what he can do with it.
Yeah.
He did that consistently tonight. He did. So when I just look at him keeping us on schedule, keeping the offense going, the run game in particular, especially in that third quarter, converting third downs, keeping us on the field, and then Quinn recognizing the blitz, throwing it over to Jadon Blue, and him making a play in the end zone again, right? Making somebody miss in the open field again. That's what you want to see from them. And while that's happening, what else is happening? That defense is rested on the sideline.
Facts.
Right? And they're also getting the momentum and getting energized, ready to come back onto the field. So we played complementary football in spurts throughout this game, and that's why I say it was a heavyweight fight, man. There's no way anybody in the world looks at this scenario, Texas down 7 on the 1-yard line, and thinks that, like, you lose by 14 in regulation.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that, right? So it was just a great play. It was a great play made by a great player.
Yeah. Well, we are recapping Texas's 28-14 loss to Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinal and the Cotton Bowl. I forgot to introduce myself because I'm so depressed. I'm Nick Shuley. I'm joined by Adrian Phillips as well as Jeremy Hills, and we are going to continue to recap that. Let's get into the offense. I think, we talked about it. We already talked about it a little, but Quinn Ewers, 23 of 39, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick at the end that, whatever. He was pushing it down the field. Can we stop the talk? I already see so many comments about I'm so excited for Manning and next year. Yeah, we're all excited about Manning, but step back and look at the performances by the quarterbacks, by the other quarterbacks in the playoff, and step back and see what you have, right? And what you, quote, had in Quinn Ewers, right? I feel good in saying, hands down, he's the best quarterback in the playoff semifinals. You can make an argument for Will Howard, but I probably won't listen to you. And to tell me that you were impressed with Drew Aller's performance over Quinn Ewers or Riley Leonard's performance over Quinn Ewers, they did enough to stay in the game. But step back and look what you have. And I challenge our fans next year with Manning. What are you going to do when something goes wrong? You're going to be yelling Trey Owens' name? We need to start supporting our quarterbacks a little bit better. And look, he didn't play a perfect game, but no quarterback plays a perfect game. Look at the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And that, a team still won there. And same thing. It's.
One thing we both played for Coach Brown. And one thing Coach Brown used to tell us is that, hey, they spell out Texas big across your jersey, but remember that X in the middle? That's a bullseye for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? So, I'm with you. I think the kid played. I think he played good ball. I think he played enough good ball today to win this game overall.
Yep.
Right? I also understand that when you're QB1 at the University of Texas, you're probably
got a
gonna
bigger X on your
yeah, man. Like that's what comes with it.
We lived it.
That's what comes with it. That's what, if you don't want that type of pressure, if you don't want that type of spotlight, if you don't want that type of criticism,
Go to A&M.
you got to go to A&M. That's how that works, right? I promise you. Listen, you don't even got to worry about playing on TV. Like,
Which, by the way, I did see some A&M people sliding in here. Just a heads up, we'll explain to you guys what the playoffs are next year. Like, you guys don't get that, or what the SEC championship looks like. We'll explain that to y'all sometime. So just catch up with us after the show. But anyway, I'm not bitter at all.
Nick is hot right now, man.
I feel him.
The thing is like, to be real. Yeah, I wanted the Longhorns in the national championship, right? And I've been saying it for days now. I genuinely felt like whoever won tonight was the national champion.
For sure.
Right? That said, damn, y'all know I love ball. I watch so much ball. What a game.
Man,
like that's
both
a
games,
like
man.
that's a,
Like,
yeah. What a game.
That.
What a game, man. So you look at that, the Stars came to play tonight. The Stars made plays. But I'll tell you what, man, if you tell me before the game that we pick off Will Howard, we sack Will Howard, we hurry him, rush him, make him uncomfortable. We hold Jeremiah Smith to 1 catch for 3 yards. We hold both their running backs under 50 yards rushing. If you tell me that, I'm like, oh, we won that game.
Yeah.
But that goes to show you how tight this game actually was.
Well, and that's what you said. It's the closest thing you'll see to an NFL game, right?
Yeah.
One play flipped the entire game and ended the game, just like the NFL playoffs.
Ended it. So, I mean, listen, man, it's gonna be a tough night for Texas. The difference is right. One of the biggest differences is between college and the big leagues, right? Is that, like, you know, salary cap is going to make decisions for the pros, as to where here, you know, a multitude of factors, from the portal to the draft to graduation. Like, this is going to be a completely different team next year. And these relationships that have been formed, these seniors are part of a turnaround where Texas is not just a blue chip program with a prestigious history, but the future is bright as well, and the current is exciting. So you look at this university, you look at this program, you look at where they're at. You got to feel for these kids, because if you ever put on their jersey, you know it sucks when you know it's the last time you're gonna put it on. So yeah, man, I just hope that they realize that they've done a lot special. Yeah. They've done a lot of special things. We love them. We appreciate them. And then, listen, for the squad that's going to be there for this upcoming season, go do something else. Go hunt, go relax, go fish, whatever it is you like to do.
Something.
And then 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, when you come back, it starts.
Yeah,
it starts. That's the way it works. Like, hit the timer, it starts, right?
I think these wounds are going to be hard to. It's hard to heal. You know, they're going to be thinking about this for a long time, and you really want them to go into the off season and remember that, and learn from it, and really take that to the next step, so you can actually finish these type of games. Because when you get down to the wire in these type of games, the really little details, they matter. If you miss a block just a little bit, if you late coming out of your stands just a little bit, you got dogs on the other side, and that will kill you. And it killed us tonight. But I think overall, with our offense, the way that they played, I just think outside of a couple play calls, like, they did enough to win the game. They answered the bell when Ohio State scored and went up 7, and we drive down the field, and you got Gunnar Helm, you got Golden putting it on the line to come back in and make, like, unbelievable catches. You got our running backs doing their thing, and for them to get all the way down to the 1 yard line and have it go another way, I think is just,
that's sick.
It's
They're gonna
sick,
be sick,
bro.
man.
It's
They're gonna be sick.
Well,
That's tough.
And not to mention, you know, how well Quinn played without his top 2 receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Without Isaiah Bond and they both play, and without Matthew Golden.
Yep.
Losing Golden early was a big deal. That guy has been a game changer. But shout outs to, and we picked Jaden Blue as our offensive player of the game.
Yeah.
Jaden had 5 catches, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries for 16 yards. Kid's dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, that just both touchdowns, especially the second touchdown catch, just one-on-one, just puts that dude in the dirt. But even the small plays where he'll catch a little swing out of the backfield and puts his foot in the ground and makes the first guy miss every single time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
He's something special.
And you look at both of those backs, right? 11 catches between the two of your backs.
Yeah.
Your two starting backs had 11 catches tonight.
But it also shows you that Quinn was taking what the defense gave him too, which you talked about.
Which is like that is a mature approach to this thing, right?
Yeah.
That is a very mature that's winning football.
It is.
Especially when you got your two top receivers down.
Yeah.
You know? Like he's out there with a true freshman, his leading specialist, you know, and he got his two backs and he's making it work, man. Like you 14 points in the bag with like real drives, sustained drives, not like a pop play or anything like that. Like Quinn drove him down the field, put up 7, drove him down the field, put up 7. And it was on the route. I mean, after Ohio State just stole the momentum,
crazy,
he chopped them down right down the field. And overcame the BS call on Gunnar Helm.
Come on,
right?
Man.
At some point, you gotta let them play football. Man.
Got to.
At some point,
you don't
gotta
get any judgment call.
Yeah,
signal the dang first down. And like,
my
come on,
God.
man.
At some point, can like what are they expecting? Like it's like, oh, great effort.
Yeah.
Like maybe don't touch you. Maybe great effort.
Maybe help him up.
Yeah, but anyways, overcame that and then had his team in position to tie it up. Right. I can only imagine how that kid's feeling right now. But I hope he knows that like if he never puts this uniform on again, he's gonna go down as one of the greats.
Facts.
And just a heads up to all the Ohio State fans or other team fans that are in the chat here. We think that's pretty cute that you spend your time with us. So don't go celebrate with your own friends. Celebrate with the Longhorns. So we appreciate you guys too.
I tell you, I feel a little different, Shuley. I feel like I want Ohio State to go win it all.
Oh no, I'm not. I wasn't saying I'm rooting against them. I'm just saying like I just like the fact that they're spending their celebration time with us.
Absolutely.
So it's great.
Absolutely.
You guys, I mean, I saw you guys using our symbol the whole game too. So like it's cool, man. Don't
got
do your own cheers.
They got away with one, and they know it. But their players made the play when it was time.
They did, man, and all credit goes to them.
Yeah,
but
I think with Blue though, it's the same thing that it's been all year. Like once he gets going, he's electric. Like he's one of the guys that can just blow the top off the building and get everybody up. So with Blue, with Wisner, and with Helm, for me all year, those guys were the three guys for me. If we got them going somehow, we were gonna be fine. Yeah, you got Golden. Yeah, you got Bold. Bond, you got Bolden, even when he comes in a little bit, and you got Wingo. But those guys were the three main catalysts, and you started to see it open up just a little bit. I know that Wisner only had 46 yards, but like you said earlier, those 46 yards were huge. It was
Critical.
5 here.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Like those were huge. And with Blue getting the 2 touchdowns and Helm on the last drive, like they showed up when we needed them to show up, and that's why we were in a position to win the game.
Yeah. Well, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. And for those who are just joining us, we're obviously recapping Texas' 28-14 loss in the Cotton Bowl in the college football playoff semifinals. I think we've got to figure out something for next year, and I don't know what it is. I've like maybe a scientist or something that can do something for Colin Simmons' jersey, so that if somebody gets not only one hand but 2 hands on it, he gets a call every once in a while, because that kid gets held more than anybody I have ever seen, and egregiously. But I mean, I'm not a blame it on the refs guy. That wasn't it. But also like Colin's a special player.
That play, it mattered though.
Man, listen,
mattered.
Yeah.
There's no bigger Ohio State fan than Kirk Herbstreit.
My God.
And when you got Kirk
I almost thought
Herbstreit,
he went to that school. When you
got Kirk Herbstreit on national television saying, I thought that was a hole by the right tackle.
It was a hole.
It might be a hole. It might be a hole. But like we always say in AP, you know this, man. To be honest, there are judgment calls that happen on every single play.
Oh, for sure. You can call holding.
But there's also some calls you can't miss.
But there's also a huge third down where the guy gets off the line and beats him, and it would have hit the quarterback, but nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's tough, and I'm sure that, like Jay Hill said, I'm sure that we got away with some.
100%.
We got away with some too, but just that whole, I think, was super pivotal because we needed that. Like that helped keep the drive alive. That helped.
Oh, that would have killed it.
That's over with. Now it's 3rd and 20 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, like now you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
So that killed us. But I think overall defense played well. I think early they were trying to fill out the game a little bit. They were trying to fill it out, and I really didn't like the intensity. But the intensity picked up a lot, and when they realized who they were, they really went out there and took it to the Ohio State offensive line.
When you really look at it, like Ohio State came out punching, man.
Man.
It came out swinging.
Haymakers.
I mean, haymakers, right? And
talking.
Yeah. I mean, I told y'all off air, I was like, man, I spent a little time with them in early September.
They wanted this one.
They had it on their mind a long time. But what was interesting to me was to see them go down, put up 7, get the ball back, and start marching right back down that field. And then old Mr. Henderson, Travion Henderson, got a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
And it was like, okay.
And it backed him up.
Yep.
And from that moment on, our defense, I don't know if it was a flip of the switch or what it was, but from that moment until obviously you gave up the one right before half, but up until the fourth quarter, they didn't even get close to our red zone again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, our defense shut it all the way down.
By the way, I think Alex January caught a stray on that one because I don't think it was Alex January that was talking smack to Travion Henderson. He just got up and got punched.
He got up and got punched. He had that look like
what did I do?
What did he say?
And
for?
It was like Ant was like behind him or something. He thought it was him.
The funniest thing was the ref. The ref had that look like
dude, really? Like in my face. Come on, bro.
I gotta call this.
And I know, and that's not even Travion's character. He's a good kid, so it's I can imagine what was said or what he heard in that moment. But that's football. But it was really cool to see the defense just sink their cleats in the ground, and say, "Hey, that's it." Well, and it really was.
Oh, and I'll say, I don't know if you guys watched the post game in the last Ohio State game. Jeremiah Smith did say that no one can stop him. Well,
come on now.
Just a heads up, Notre Dame, I would be ready next game because I think Jeremiah is going to want some after he got completely shut down.
He was non-existent. He was non-existent.
Yep.
Like 1 catch, 3 yards.
I think the game plan for him and overall for the receiving core that they had was phenomenal. Like, you knew that Ohio State had enough time to get some plays to break the tendencies, and you saw that. And I think that we made the adjustments at halftime and throughout the game to really just make sure that we kept Jeremiah under taps and make sure that the other receivers really didn't go off like that, because they tried to push the ball down the field. But it just was not there, and that was really because of our pass rush and with the shell coverage that we had over the top. We were keeping 2 safeties high the whole game. For a while when Ohio State was kind of running the ball in there, I was like, hey, now we might have to get to a little one high look, but we stayed with it. It was the bend, don't break mentality, and our D-line started to get after that O-line.
And then what I loved from PK was, I mean, obviously other than the screen, I got to just keep that hurt.
Yeah.
But what I love to see in the third quarter was they stayed in that 2 high shell, and then they started spinning down and getting aggressive. They started spinning down and getting aggressive, and that's when you started to see these hits on Will Howard take place. You honestly, I was talking my little noise to the TV, and I say, oh, yeah, this the guy I know.
That's what I was saying.
You said that? I'm like, I recognize this guy. He's confused. He's not 100% sure where to go with the ball. He's just fading to his left a little bit. Like, and he don't want to do that. I'm like, this is it, right? And that's what leads to a defensive performance that was, held them to 3 of 10 on third down conversions. Even the last touchdown drive, was a 4th and 2 conversion. So 3 of 10 on third down conversions. I loved the defensive game plan tonight. It was a great game plan, and it worked.
It did.
And it forced turnovers. It got them off the field. It kept them behind the chains. Now, don't get it twisted. This is one of the most talented rosters in the sport right now. They are going to make their plays, and I honestly believe that's the difference. They made 1 or 2 plays more than we did.
And something we haven't talked about, but credit, he doesn't – I know he gets some love, but he doesn't get enough love. Emeka Egbuka is a special wide receiver. That kid's going to be a big-time NFL player.
Before he got hurt, like, he was –
he was
the guy.
Yeah, the guy.
You know what I'm saying?
They literally were calling like that's the next Jackson Smith-Njigba.
100%. Next in the line.
He was the next one in line, right? And he still is. He'll still be a top 40 pick.
Oh, for sure. So somebody's going to get a good steal on that one. Well, let's get into let's dig into some of these comments. So
It should be fun.
Yeah, let's go. From a sponsored comment from Casey Taylor, damn.
Casey, I'm right there with you.
I agree.
We feel that. We had some other 4-letter words, but yeah, we got that one as well. From Chris B, thanks for the sponsored comment. He says, so proud of this team in this season. Quinn was ice cold in the third quarter. He said later, Quinn was like ice cold, ice in his veins in the third quarter. Defense was lights out. We outplayed everyone's predictions besides Vegas. Yeah?
Yeah.
But
Vegas knows, man.
But you lost. So.
Vegas knows.
Yeah. And from KD, this was not on Quinn. This was on the O-line and Sark. 2nd and goal, and you tossed the ball 5 yards behind. Could have done a bootleg. They wouldn't have been expecting it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's easy to. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Like we can pick apart every piece, but yeah, that
I'll say
I would have liked to see just 4 straight up the middle.
Yeah, I look at that, and I don't. We don't know what they've seen on tape.
Yeah,
right.
We don't know what looks they've seen on film. Probably, obviously, you want to say, well, if you're gonna run the sweep, then put your speed guy in. That probably would have tipped it. Right, the defense. I mean, Caleb Downs is one of the smartest players on the field. Yeah. Right, so that probably would have tipped it. And he was the one that actually forced that play. Mm-hmm. But just thinking of that in particular, as I'm thinking of just situational, right? Worst case scenario, if I don't punch it in here on the 1 yard line, they got 2 and 20 on the clock. So I got the 2-minute timeout. I got 2 timeouts in my pocket. I got one of the top 5 defenses in the country. I trust that.
Yeah.
I trust that, and I'm down 7, right? So anything, and I say it graciously because nobody in their right mind foreseen a 7 points going the other way.
Yeah.
Right? So you could have called anything, and if that doesn't happen, you're still in this game.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things. We always talk about momentum. Things went from bad to worse.
Yeah.
You get stuff on first down. Okay, me personally, I would have liked to see them run a dive again. It's my dogs against your dogs.
Yeah.
We're going to see who's tougher. Questionable call with the sweep. Okay, let's minimize it as much as we can. And for that, I'm really trying not to kill the player because I've been a part of getting killed.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
It happens.
For that to happen,
You can't. The truth is, you can't get beat right there.
You can't.
That's the truth. But it happened.
Yeah.
A first round end beat a first round tackle.
Yeah.
And made a first round play. That's what happened. Like that's the truth. Right, it's tough. It sucks. I hate it was us. I would have loved it if it was on the other side.
Right,
but that's the type of stuff. Like that small little thing turns into not such a small thing.
Yeah. From Philip Murillo, it sucks to go out like that, but hey, we made it this far when everyone said we couldn't compete in the SEC. I'm not worried about competing in the SEC. This team's going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to be just fine.
The Aggies, I worry, though. I do feel bad for them, man.
Not me, man. They right where they love to be. Like
8-4?
Yeah, that's their comfortable
sorry,
spot.
8-5.
Oh, sorry.
I spotted
Yeah,
them.
no, that. Listen, right there in the middle of the road, right, like on like the corner of average and mediocre.
Yeah.
That's where their house is.
I always say next year is our year.
They love to be right there, and they are right where
Maybe
they
it's
want
the
to be.
Aggie fans that are closer to Cowboy fans.
Yeah,
It's very
fair.
similar.
The only type of good gracious they get from me is just when they go out there. If you beat OU, I don't care about that at all. But like they thrive on our demise. Like the only good thing that they get joy out of is us losing because it's not their program winning because that never
Does
happens.
this game go on their banner then for this year?
Potentially.
They'll probably put up a
Texas
banner.
Longhorns.
They'll probably
No, absolutely.
That's good.
Like my DMs get flooded, man. Like on my way over here, my phone was blowing up. I'm looking, and it is Aggie fans.
Yeah.
And like,
crazy.
finally. And I'm like, what?
Like shouldn't you be saying about your team?
Yeah.
Like what are we talking?
Oh man, I love those guys.
Yeah, anyway.
Love those guys.
All right, from Juion Kim, refs were refs, missed calls on both sides. Ultimately,
Right.
Texas lost this game. 75-yard touchdown on a screen pass. That defensive coverage was almost as bad as Penn State's play call in their last possession. It's a tough one, man. That's,
Look, I'm the first one to say, like, no matter what, you have to get the player on the ground. I think if we look past that, our defense really only gave up 14 points tonight. You have to get the guy on the ground. So 21 points is on the board for our defense, but I think you have to get help with the call as well. and we could have got better help with that. PK called a great game.
He did.
You know, I think on both sides, offense and defenses, the play callers kind of want to have one or two calls back, but that happens all the time. It's just at the pivotal points of the game, that's when you don't want your worst call to happen.
And that's kind of, I think that's like, as you were talking, you know what it reminded me of? Like watching Mayweather in his prime.
Yeah.
Like a heavy, not a heavy, but what was it? Light middle?
Yeah.
But a big time fight, a prize fight is what we just watched. Mm-hmm. But what we saw was that, like, as competitive as it was, the one time where we let our guard down, we got hit in the chin.
Kind of like Tank.
Yeah, we got hit in the chin.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And another time where we let our guard down, we got hit in the, I'm talking about like knockout blows.
Yeah.
Like 2 knockout blows.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't get plays back in this game. All I'm thinking of is the game I just watched. I'm like, man, -2 plays. What did I see tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
-2 plays. What did I see tonight? Like, I seen 2 evenly matched teams. I like take the decals off, and we just watched like the same team go at it.
Yeah.
Right. So
from Kelsey Goddard Warden, and I'm only going to read the first part of this because we already covered the second. An absolutely fantastic season, and very proud of this team. I think that's the thing that, as we sit here and pick this apart, super proud of these guys. Like, it was a long season. They played a heck of a year, and a lot to be proud of. To make the SEC championship in your first year, to technically, even though it's not a thing, win the regular season SEC championship. Like, this team did a lot, right? Playoff semifinals 2 years in a row. This class and these kids have a lot to be proud of, and shout outs to them.
Sark spoke on that too, and when he said it, I didn't think about it till he said it. And he's like, the playoff has expanded from 4 to 12. And we're the only team that's here from last year. Mm-hmm. That's hard major. It is to make it here.
Yeah.
Right? So you look at like the expectation for this team and this program overall and where it's at, it's completely turned around.
Yeah,
this thing, sure. And I think even tonight, even in defeat, nobody with 2 eyes at work looked at that game and was like, Texas didn't deserve to be there.
For sure.
Right? So like the expectation is higher, and yeah, man. Can it be September 1 of 25 already?
The whole offseason.
Yeah,
but Chris B, he corrected. He said, "Whoops, I meant Quinn had ice in his vein in the third quarter." We got that. From Jeff Mo. Hopefully now the Quinn hate will finally stop. Quinn helped bring this program back to national level competitive play again. Let's thank the young fella and don't hate on him. Yeah. I mean, look, you can sit here and pick apart any performance, but that kid's done a ton for this program.
Absolutely.
To lean in when he did and to disregard that because he, threw an incomplete pass here or there. Like,
I mean, just think about, and we've had some good quarterbacks here, but think about the track record that he has against the more previous quarterbacks that we've had in the past, even to when I was playing. Like, he's done a lot. He's been to the semis twice. He's been balling twice. He was up for the Heisman preseason, I know, but he's been
won a Big 12
I'm
championship.
about to say, like, don't forget, he won a Big 12. He went to 2 back-to-back college football playoffs. He back in it again, SEC championship. I mean, 4th and 13 is going to cement him.
Come on,
like that's
4th and 13 and the 2 passes after that. Like, those were NFL throws. Like, and I will 100% say there have been times that I have looked at Quinn and like, hey, bro, come on, like, you gotta go. But that's football. That's football, and I think that he really cemented his legacy in the Texas program, and now it's time for him to go make your money.
Yeah, go make your money, man. Cheering for you, brother.
From Juwan Kim, again, help me deal with the pain. 3rd and Longhorn, please help me. It hurts. It hurts because we were right there. Yeah, we feel you.
No, I'm as I was driving here, I realized that I had a headache, and I said, "Why do I have a headache?" And it hit me. At first, I thought it was my kids, my daughter, man. But no, I realized the headache was like I was replaying that sequence in my mind, like over and over and over again. And I'm like, if I'm doing that, I can only imagine what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, how many times is Sark gonna play this in his mind? How many times is Quinn gonna play this in his mind? Right. So, and that's the reason why you love this game.
Yeah.
It's the reason why you love this game.
It's the reason why you hate it too.
It's the most beautiful game out there, man. And listen, I hope Ohio State wins it all. I'll just keep I gotta be a good.
You know one thing I hate. You know one thing I hate.
They gotta step on Notre Dame, man.
People play their best games against us, and it's always been like that. As they should.
Yeah.
But then they go out after us and
there's no way they lay egg against Notre Dame. Man, listen to me, brother.
If they do,
listen to me, brother. Listen to me, brother. Riley Leonard's not going to run quarterback power for 4 quarters. Hope that Love bails them out, man, and that the defense just doesn't let them score. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Like I said it from the jump. Whoever won this game, in my mind, is national champion.
Yeah.
So let's see what they do.
From Dadgum Batman, respect to the Longhorns. According to everyone else, they said we were going to lose 235-0. Yeah, I mean that's just people talking, and this whole Texas has to play a perfect game in order to stay into it.
I mean, but look at it though.
To show up, that didn't look like that.
Look around the scope of this thing, and we know that it's any given Saturday and Friday in this case. But you looked at Texas didn't play Tennessee this year. Everybody was like, "Oh, we avoided Tennessee," and then Tennessee played Ohio State.
Must stomp.
Right. You look at Oregon, who, myself included, a lot of people thought was probably the best team in college football, the only undefeated team in the playoff, right? What did Ohio State do to them?
Come on now.
You look at this game, Ohio State goes down and puts up that 7, and I bet the whole world was like, knew it. Fast forward an hour and a half later, midway through the third,
whoops,
everybody's sitting there like, oh.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's no way you watch this game tonight and you don't stop questioning this team. You have to stop questioning them.
Yeah.
They can play, and they deserve to be where they're at.
Yeah. Well, let's get through a few more of the sponsored, and then we'll get out of here. From Jack Boys, thanks for the sponsor comment. Listening to y'all talk Hornsball this season has been such a tremendous joy. I think this pod's becoming the premier Texas football podcast. Well, thank you all for listening, seriously, and coming back and telling your friends about it like that. It's been big for us. Please keep liking, subscribing, sharing, and send us actually in the comments. I want to see. Since it's 90% Ohio State fans, I'm kidding. I want to see who you think's going to win the national championship. Let us know your scores and predictions for Ohio State, Notre Dame.
I'm glad people enjoy this, man. I'm glad they enjoy, because this is my therapy.
Yeah,
this is my therapy. This is where I get a chance to get my thoughts out.
Yeah.
So man, I really am glad people.
I think it keeps us all sane.
Yeah, for sure.
We can yell at each other beforehand, and then get on here and unpack.
Right. Group text on fire. My thumbs got blisters.
I know. I don't even want to look at my phone. From Josh Avalar, thanks for the sponsor comment. Gilbo and Arch got their heads rocked, but the refs wanted to call that BS on Gunnar Helm celebrating a first down. Yeah, was it you that said that you heard Arch had a concussion off that run? Yeah, that's why I think everyone was yelling why he wasn't coming in the game. Maybe it was that. So.
Yeah, because he's always in on those 4th and short situations. Yeah. And earlier in the game, he was just in on that type of situation. So for him not to be in, it had to be something crazy. I don't know for sure if it was concussion. Don't quote me on that.
No. But
Dr.
Phillips. She at home.
The neurologist. The neurologist. What else did you see there, Dr. Phillips?
But it was for sure something for him to not be in the game. I know Sark would have probably loved to have him in at that time. But I think the play that he might be talking about with Gilbo is when Judkins laid the block on him.
Yeah, and they were praising that block. And that you talking
crazy.
About helmet.
I ain't even talking about the target. I'm talking about after. When he was on the ground, Buddy kind of bigged up a little bit.
Iverson.
And it happens. I don't have my
it didn't happen to the best of.
Yeah. But I think that's just the way the game went for the refs today. We never really get the judgment calls. It's always kind of been like that for us, but it is what it is, man. We still had a chance to win, and we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I always say, and I was talking to one of my best friends on the way here, and he was saying, he's like, man, that penalty on the tight end kind of slowed down the momentum. I said, you on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, you still went down.
What momentum?
What else am I talking about?
It didn't slow down any momentum.
What else am I talking about?
Yeah.
You're on the 1 yard line. So, yeah.
From Josh Avalar, too, some kind words. I was worried about LHN folding when we joined the SEC because I appreciated the analysis from former Texas players. Third and Longhorn definitely fills the void. Appreciate the work y'all have done. Thank y'all. And, by the way, props to for those that don't have it. The Longhorn Network app is awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can get it on
It's
your
pretty
TV, on your phone. You can find all our stuff on there too. And the university's done a great job with that. Like give them their praise. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's in the App Store. Just search for LHN. But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. From D and O P. Tell them no more buck sweeps, dog.
Hey, that's Darius Anderson. That's Fozzy's guy, brother.
I know Derrick.
Hey, me and LD, I call him LD. We have an ongoing Third and Longhorn post the show. We just sit there and talk about it. And one of his things that he's kind of been harping on all season, I'm gonna give you a little shout out. He's just been talking about the sweeps. He's not a big fan. He's not a big fan of the sweeps, but he does love what Sark is doing. Yeah. So even though he's throwing that comment in there, I just want everybody to know he loves Texas.
I think it's all the big boys, man. T. Hill, my brother, the same way. He's like, why we got all this beef and we going outside? I'm like, it's not a lineman in the world that likes to sweep.
No, like that's more running for them.
Not one that exists.
More running for them.
From Brandon, 2 terrible calls cost us the game. Blitz with 29 seconds left and a toss sweep from the shotgun at the 1. The players deserve better. Look, man, hindsight's 20/20. Thanks for the sponsored comment, but we can sit here and pick apart every single thing. Like you guys said, we don't know what the script was. We don't know why that happened at that time. So,
what you got to believe is this: Sark wants to win the game.
Yeah.
Right? Probably more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So, and you got to believe that, like, while we go do other things throughout the week, he's probably doing nothing else other than preparing to try to win the game.
Yeah.
Have
you seen that guy, by the way? He does not sleep. And
I have
to
believe that there was something in that look that made him feel good about that call.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, maybe in his post-game presser he'll talk about it. But I'm sure he's going to be asked about it, right?
For sure.
I mean, bro, like if we think about it, Caleb Downs,
dog,
middle of the field, shooting it, and you're the first person to make contact.
That's
crazy.
That view from the top, dog. Like, oh my god,
crazy. So like, if he's not there, maybe we don't lose 7-8 yards, but like that was a phenomenal play, and it was just something off script. Like that was just a player making the play. Like I didn't personally like the play call anyway, but I think Caleb just made it a lot more negative.
He blew it up. He blew the play up.
Yeah, than what it could have been.
He blew the play up. And then very next series, he reads the in-breaking route as he's still in phase, and then drives down and gets his eyes inside, beats the receiver to the ball, and catches a pick to really send it home.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there is a reason why people are saying that's the first safety off the board. Right? And he showed up. But we expected Caleb Downs to be Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't...
Yeah, he didn't sneak up on
it wasn't like we were like, oh, who's number 2? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he was high on the scouting report. From Patriot Southern, who are we with CJ Baxter on offense? Yeah, look, that changes a lot of the identity of this team, having a big physical running back. But also, like, what gets lost in that is Trey Wisner stepping up, having an amazing year.
Over 1,000 yards.
Jaden Blue having an incredible year as well.
The playmaker.
Yeah, right? Those are the things we developed and saw this year because of CJ going down. Yeah. And obviously sad to miss him, but he'll be back, and that kid's
I'm excited to see him. I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun to watch. I know he's itching to get back on the field. Let's get a few more of these sponsor ones, and then we'll get out of here. From Chris B, thank y'all so much for a wonderful season of shows. I really appreciate seeing Texas legends opine on games all season long. Y'all are amazing. Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Facts.
Yeah,
facts.
From Dadgum Batman, this will be the last comment. Can't wait for the off-season interviews. Hook 'em. Yeah, you. Thank you for the segue. That's perfect. Yeah, we will be around all spring, summer, doing interviews, or winter, wherever we are right now, doing interviews with the players, with different people around the staff. So please keep tuning in for that. And I don't know. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap up?
Man,
get this funeral over with.
Yeah, like, listen, like, feel every emotion, cry tonight, it's over tomorrow. Wish all our guys luck going forward, the ones that are going to be preparing for the draft. If we got any players that are going to be moving on to other programs, wish them luck too. ultimately, whenever this team comes back, I can't wait to see what this 2025 Texas team looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a taste of it. You got a taste of it, right? You know what it feels like to go play Washington and play terribly, and then try to make a late comeback. You know what it feels like to go toe-to-toe with Ohio State all the way down to the very end. Now it's time to go start winning these things.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm excited to see what Mr. Manning looks like.
Yeah. I think just feel your feelings, man. For the players and the fans, and then for the fans, just celebrate the players. Like they don't understand how much you see the negativity on social media. Like people always say, don't tune into it, like block it out. But sometimes it gets in. Celebrate the season that they had. We made it to the semis. It didn't go the way that we wanted it to go, but these boys put everything that they had on the line. We wanted a couple plays back, but at the end of the day, they showed up for the year when we needed them to show up to put us in a position to get to a national championship. And I know they're going to take this loss to heart, and if they do what they're supposed to do in the offseason, it's gonna look real ugly for everybody else in 2025.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, shout outs to all the guys, to the whole squad this year. And let's not lose sight of that. These guys played their butts off and had an amazing year, and that can't get lost in all this. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like we said, drop your final college football playoff final score predictions between Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Oh, man,
and
it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
We'll see.
It better be. If it ain't,
should be.
If it ain't,
It's going to be bad.
Well, you guys don't forget, like, subscribe, share with your friends, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, and all the social medias. Appreciate y'all, and we will see you guys soon with some interviews. Hook 'em.